Right, we're going to make a wall rack for your motorcycle rack. Catch you inside.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. Hope you're enjoying the channel and the series of videos. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share, leave those comments, and check out the website RevelatorAlf.com, where you find the links to PayPal for any support. So in this video, I'm talking about your motorcycle rack or your tour pack or whatever it is on your Harley Davidson. In this case, I've got a Softail, my Sport Glide, and the rack just mounts on the back like so. Pop it in, and then it clips down. But let's say you want to work on the bike, or you actually just don't want it on there and you want to take it off. You're either going to put it on the side, on a bench somewhere, or on the floor. Could easily get damaged. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to mount it on the wall. Very easy, and we're going to take it off first of all. Measure between the lugs first of all. Now, it doesn't matter what bike it is, however you attach your rack or whatever it is to the bike, first of all, just measure the center points of your attachment bolts or the lugs. That'll be your first measurement, and we're going to the workshop and then I'll show you what that measurement is all about. Right, let's do that. So on the Sport Glide, center to center is 7 inches or 17.75 mil or thereabouts. Right, let's take the rack off, get into the workshop, and I'll show you how to build this rack. Okay, so in the workshop now, you're going to get some square baton wood, something like this, okay, and also you'll need some 15 or 16 mil tubing. Now, in the UK here, you can get copper tubing, which is 15 mil, which is old plumbing tubing. This is kind of a shelving tubing I got it from a DIY store. This cost me just a couple of pounds, nothing more, nothing expensive really. Okay, but whatever it is, what you need to do, whatever rack you have, you need to measure the opening here, and you need to see what kind of tubing will fit in there. So here, this is just right, 15-16 mil. It could be that depending on what rack you have and what mounting bolts that you have on your bike, it might be slightly bigger or slightly smaller. The idea is that you find a tubing that is about the right fit. Okay, so the next thing is that you're going to have 2 batons like that mounted on the wall, and you're going to have the 2 poles mounted in between them, and that distance will be that 7 inches or that 17.75 centimeters as we measured out there. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut off here, first of all, a reasonable length and double that up to make 2 of them. And then we're going to cut the tubing, which is longer than the actual width of your rack. And then that will actually give you a bit of space either side and to mount the batons. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so we're going to measure 7 inches here, but also allow a little bit of extra on either end. So if we go 2 inches, should we say 3 inches either side? So there's 10, let's say 13 inches. So your batons should be 13 inches. That'll be 3 inches either side of the 7-inch distance between the poles. Okay, let's mark this off and cut it. And then we just double it up. Cut another bit. Okay, just going to clean up the edges now. Okay, so the next thing, we're going to measure and mark that 7-inch width, or 17.75 centimeters width of the racking. Basically, it's this dimension here, and that dimension there will go on there like that. We've already measured it on the motorcycle, so for the Sport Glide and for the other Softails, I would assume it's 7 inches or 17.75 centimeters. But for your Harley Davidson or whatever it is, you're going to have to measure this and make sure of that dimension yourself. Okay, but this is the process. Right, so I'm just going to measure that and I'm going to centralize it. Okay, so that mark, that line there represents 7 inches spacing. Now just have to centralize it on the baton itself. Okay, now we need to drill a hole which is the diameter of this. So if you can get a 16mm drill bit or a wood bit, that'll be great. That's exactly what you want. For this case, if you've got a 15mm tube, get a 15mm drill bit. Whatever it is, you want it to be relatively tight in there. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so here I've got a 16mm bit, and that is also the same width of that tubing. Yes, exactly the same. So basically I'm going to drill into there, only not all the way through, just about halfway through, just so that this can be popped in there and it'll be exactly just a nice snug fit. Right. So as you can see there, it's a nice little recess. Right. Right, so as you can see, that's the 2 holes there, or 4 holes I should say. Now these are going to be placed like that, and then the poles are going to go in between. Right. So the next thing is to actually cut the tubing. Okay, as I say, the tubing you want to be longer than the width of the actual rack itself. Give yourself a little bit of extra room either side to put the batons on as well. Okay, so I'll give you a measurement for your reference for the Sport Glide here, and possibly for the other Softails as well on the Harley Davidson. It's 43 centimeters, just shy of 17 inches. It's actually, yeah, 16 3/4 inches. Okay, so what you need to do now is cut this. Now you can cut this in many different ways. You can use a hacksaw, you can use a pipe cutter, or you can use an angle grinder. That's entirely up to you how you do it. I think I might just use a hacksaw, it's easier. Okay, so all we need to do now is just cut another piece exactly the same length. Okay, so the next bit then is to actually mount these poles in the batons. So all you need to do is just push them in, like that, done. On this side as well, on this side. Just give it a tap down. Now you might be asking yourself, well, Alf, it's loose in there. Okay, it is, you're right, and it will be able to rotate, but actually once you've mounted this to the wall, it's going to be plush and square. So the next thing you need to do is drill some holes into the baton so you can mount these to the wall. Now, if you've got a light rack, I would say you get away with 2 screws. If you've got a heavy rack or a heavy mounting, something like a tool pack or whatever it is you're putting on the back of your bike on those lugs, you might want to consider 3 holes. Also, you want really long screws as well to go into the wall to give you that extra strength as well. And you might want to consider just countersinking the screw heads as well, so you're actually getting into this wood a little bit more, and then your screw will get further into the wall. Let me do that. Okay, so what you've done now is drilled 3 holes into the batons. That's going to be mounted to the wall. Actually, what I'm going to do is just drill some bigger holes here, about halfway through the wood, so we can countersink the screw heads. So here I've got the long screws, and I've just got a bigger drill bit, and that's going to allow this to be countersunk. Let me do that. Right, done. Right, just going to clean these up a little bit. Right, so the next thing is to make sure that your rack or whatever it is that you want to mount in it, make sure it fits on here. So you can see on mine it fits, and also you can lock this down as well so it's not coming off. So absolutely fine there. So whatever you do, always make sure that it is mounted properly. Now you could mount this so the rack is the other way around, like that, so it's just hanging, but I would always make sure that it's pushing down on the bars, and not actually hanging down. There is a way, because if you're locking it on there, it shouldn't make much difference. But always have it so it's hanging down like that. Right, let's go mount this to the wall. Right, let's screw this to the wall. Offer it up. Make sure you got enough space for the rack as well to be fitted on there. Drill a few holes, screw it in. Let's do that. Okay, let's mount this to the wall. So you need to offer this up like so. Make sure there's enough room for the rack, and then mark the holes, drill them. Now what you may find is that the rack actually doesn't fit on. There isn't enough space between here and the wall. So all you need to do is just put some extra strips of wood here and then just bring it away from the wall, if that's what you find. Okay, let me do that, because that's exactly what I need to do. Now you might be wondering why I'm drilling through the pieces of wood. Actually, this is just a tip so you find it easier to locate the holes, the roll plugs. It's easier to line it up. Once you've lined it up, you drill or back out the screws, then drill them back in. I'll show you. Right, all we need to do now is put the rack on. Perfect. There we go. You can see that the rack is securely mounted to the wall, and if you just want to use it, just unclip it, put it on your bike. If you want to take it off your bike, just unclip it, put it on here. In sight, but out of mind, if you know what I mean. And it's a safe place to keep it, and it will stop it from getting scratched, and also free up some floor space for you as well, which is really good. Well, hope you found that useful. This is the wall rack for your motorcycle rack on your Harley Davidson. As I say, just measure it up, because it might be different on your bike. Measure it up, just go through this process, find some tubing which will cost you a couple of pounds, dollars, shekels, whatever it is, bit of wood, make sure it's away from the wall, and this should fit perfectly. Well, hope you found that useful. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share, leave those comments, and check out the website RevelatorAlf.com, where you find the link to the support on PayPal too. And I'll catch you on the next video, coming very soon. Ta-da now. Here's a little bonus for you. How to mount your spare seat on the wall. Just drill into the wall, raw plug, very long screw. Make sure your screw head goes through the back hole there, like so, and then just mount it on the wall. I'll show you. Measure it up, that's where I want it to hang. Drill the hole, stick the raw plug in. Screw the very long screw in the hole. That's done. Now just hang up the seat. I'm going to put the covering back on just for dust protection. There we go. Job's a good one. So now, easy reach, get the spare seat when I want it on there. Right, I think everything is complete now. Panniers, fairing rack, rack, helmet rack, and now seat, spare seat on the wall. Catch you again.